Hey there, and welcome back to Feminine Initiative. I'm your host, Jess West. I hope you're having an incredible day so far. Have you been feeling a nudge lately to deepen your service? Maybe by starting an online business or scaling your online business if you already have one. If that's the case, I have really exciting news to share with you. At the end of this month, on October 29th and 30th, Deb and I are holding an online masterclass to help you start your online business and avoid the common pitfalls of online entrepreneurship. These are pitfalls that we've both experienced from being in the online space for 6 years and that we've also seen our clients experience. We're not only going to share what they are, we're going to give you the tools to be able to avoid them and continue moving forward with your business and building momentum month after month and creating something sustainable that stands the test of time in this busy online world. If this is of interest to you, then go to tresorhouse.ca/masterclass or follow the link in the show notes below so that you could register and join us on October 29th and 30th. All right, let's get into today's episode. And before we do, I actually have another question for you. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you want to take action or you want to bring a change in your life that you feel is going to have a positive impact on the world, but then you have a thought of, well, I'm not really going to make a difference. Who am I? If I do this thing, it doesn't really matter. Like, for example, what's coming to mind is maybe you didn't properly rinse out your recyclables. Like, when you have peanut butter, you really want to rinse out all of the peanut butter before you put it into your recycling bin. Otherwise, they're not actually going to recycle it. It's just going to go in the garbage. And so do you take the time to really clean it out to make sure that that container is getting recycled? Or have you ever, had garbage with you? Maybe you're on a road trip or maybe you're hiking in the bush and you don't feel like carrying this garbage anymore. And so you just kind of toss it and you're like, one little sack is not going to make a difference. There's so many examples. Or do you spit gum outside thinking, it's fine. It'll, one gum's not going to make a difference. I actually hear this so often when it comes to plant-based eating. Many people have told me that, I want to cut my consumption of, fish or beef or whatever it is, but who am I? I'm not actually going to make a difference. They are still going to have the fish or the beef in the stores. And so me not eating it isn't going to put a dent on the world. And so I'm just going to keep doing it. Have you ever found yourself in a situation? I mean, I'm almost certain that you have, because I most certainly have, because we all kind of fall into that trap sometimes, minimizing our own influence that we can have and thinking that we don't really make a difference when that couldn't be further from the truth. I want to share with you the story of 100 monkeys, also known as the 100th monkey theory. Back in the 1950s, there were scientists who were studying monkeys on the Japanese island Kashima. And the scientists were providing the monkeys sweet potatoes that they would just drop in the sand for the monkeys. The monkeys really loved the taste of the raw sweet potatoes, but they didn't enjoy having the dirt on them. I mean, who likes eating gritty sand in your mouth, right? Until one day, an 18-month-old female monkey named Imo found a solution. She picked up her sand-covered sweet potato and brought it to the sea where she can clean it before she ate it. She then taught this to her mom. She also taught it to all of her playmates, who also taught it to their moms. And so now there was a group of monkeys who were all cleaning their sweet potatoes in the sea before eating them. Scientists continued to study this between 1952 and 1958. And somewhere in that time, it is said that one morning there was roughly 99 monkeys who took their sandy sweet potatoes, brought it to the sea to wash it before they ate it. And by nightfall, there was 100 monkeys who took their sandy sweet potatoes and washed it in the sea before eating it. And then something inexplainable happened, almost magical. The majority of the monkeys all of a sudden started washing their sweet potatoes in the sea without actually learning the behavior from others, without being told from another monkey to do this. The majority of the monkeys just started doing this. So the theory says once there is a critical mass of individuals in any kind of species that are all doing the same kind of behavior, it will just topple over into the rest of the population. They will just know it. They will just pick up the behavior without actually being taught to do it. It really ties in the thought of collective consciousness, that everything really is energy. Everything is available to us at any moment in time. And when there is a critical mass, a specific point, a specific number of individuals in any species that is doing something, that has a belief, that has an action that they're doing, that is reaching the collective consciousness and is available to every other individual within that species. So if we are to apply it to us, we can look at what we're doing and realize that we actually have so much power. And we hear it already, that we are like the sum total of the 5 people that we hang out with most. Or have you ever had an experience where you're spending so much time with someone and then all of a sudden you start to have their same mannerisms or their same way of speaking? You start to say something that they say. And whenever you say it, you think of them and you're like, oh gosh, I'm picking up their habits. We all have these mirror neurons that we're watching others and we're starting to imitate them all on a subconscious level without actually knowing. And this really reinforces the truth that if you want to change the world, you must first start with changing yourself. And this is the point that I really wanted to remind us all of today, that change happens within us. And that if we think that we don't make a difference, our energetic presence makes so much of a difference. And when we look at these common sayings that we're the majority of the 5 people that we hang around, or our mirror neurons, we can start imitating others. Well, that stands for us. We can be that energetic leader. People can start imitating us. We can be the person in the group of 5 individuals that brings change onto others too. We really have that power when we start taking positive action, taking the action that we want to take, knowing, believing in the difference that we are making. Especially when we're looking at change to a global level and we can think, oh yeah, I'm just one person. I'm not really going to make a difference unless I bring everybody else along with me. So let me try and get everybody else to change with me. But we actually don't really have to do that. When we instead take that stance as the energetic leader in our life, we get so clear on the change that we want to bring forth. We get so committed and disciplined on our own path. We continue to fill ourselves up. We become the best that we can be. We put our attention onto ourselves, knowing that, and I say this on every podcast episode, almost, that when you feel good, that radiates. When you fill your cup first, you are going to spill that goodness over into everyone else around you. It is an energy. We feel it. It is a formless substance that is out there that everybody else has access to as well. And if we're going to look back at this 100th monkey theory, if we be the change that we want to see and have faith that once that reaches a critical mass, it is going to spill over. Isn't that a beautiful thought? And if everything is in this collective consciousness, when we get these ideas, they're not necessarily our own. We hear this a lot when it comes to artists. If someone is writing a song, for example, and they're getting an award or whatever, and they're like, oh, but the idea didn't actually come from me. I was channeling it, or it came from something else. There was something greater at play here. We are all part of a collective consciousness. Our thoughts are not necessarily our own. It is an energetic frequency that can be picked up by others around us on an unconscious level. So once we reach a critical mass of everybody doing this certain behavior, it is going to become more widely accepted. As I was doing research on this 100th monkey theory topic, one of the articles that I was reading, I forget the title of it or the source, but it was mentioning that at what point did drinking and driving become so unacceptable? When there was a number of accidents that happened, when there was enough people that were affected by the negative consequences of it, that now, and I mean, of course it became a law, but even prior to that, like what was it that actually made it so frowned upon? And that is collective. We have people who haven't even suffered the negative consequences of it, but still look at it at such low regard. This summer, we had an infestation of June bugs. I think I may have mentioned that on the podcast. And I was recognizing within myself that I hate those things. But I recognized that I was fearing them, like literally, like schoolgirl running away, acting like a schoolgirl running in the parking lot when these guys were flying. It was ridiculous. And so I started thinking, why am I so afraid of these things? I'm not afraid because I've ever been bitten. It's just stories that I've been told. I've been told that my grandpa was bitten by them before. He survived the bites, and so it wasn't anything that bad. It hurt, of course, but that was it. So why did it create such a great amount of fear? There's only one other person that I know who has ever been bit by these June bugs before. Or, for example, I've been stung by hornets before. One summer, I was stung 3 times by hornets. And I used to fear them so much before, but now that I've been stung by them, I'm like, okay, it's not even that bad. Why did I have so much fear even before ever being stung? It wasn't my fear. I was picking it up from others around me. It's like we have this consensus that humans don't like these kinds of bugs. We don't like these things because it can hurt us, though there's only a few of us that have ever really been subject to that hurt. Isn't it interesting how we all just adopt this belief? The majority of us, I'm not going to say we all, but the majority of us adopted this belief without having actually ever experienced it. Could this be the 100th monkey theory? Could we have reached a critical mass in human consciousness where, we're kind of wired to think that, these are dangerous? As I'm saying this, I am recognizing that we're also taught that as children. But it is interesting nonetheless, and it does present the opportunity to bring us back into our personal power, to recognize the power that we hold to bring change in our world simply by being the greatest and grandest version of ourselves, by focusing on bringing change to us, not anybody else outside of us, not telling everybody else what kind of changes they should do, but by embodying the changes within us and through our behavior, through our actions, through the energy, through our attitude, others will begin to mirror that change within us. So we are not responsible for how others are behaving. We are only responsible of ourselves, of our own energetic frequency, and that frequency is part of the collective consciousness. And once the collective consciousness reaches a critical mass of that positive behavior, that positive attitude, that positive belief, then it'll be accessible and easily transmittable to everybody else. I thought this was such an empowering thought, and I really wanted to share it with you. So I hope this resonated with you and empowers you to really stand true in your life, and you are making such a greater influence than you can even quantify right now, than any of us can quantify. So keep doing what you feel is right and true for you, and that is going to have such a beautiful ripple effect. Thanks so much for being here with me today. And if you know of someone else who can benefit from this idea, then please share it with them. Until next time, be empowered. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And I'll see you next time.